Have you ever felt sick and tired of being sick and tired? Have you ever felt like you've reached the end of your rope? You can't go any further and something has to change. Like you have this, it's not even just a burning desire to change, it's this necessity to change because you kind of feel like you have no other options, or maybe you feel like your back is up against a wall. That's the energy surrounding this new moon in Aquarius. And it's not meant to scare you. It's not meant to make you think that you're in a dire situation, okay? But it does reflect the fact that a lot of times change can come as a result of something surprising. Change can be a knee-jerk reaction to something. Change can be this almost necessity to change, right? Many times we say, okay, we want to change and we're intentional about it, but sometimes we're kind of forced to change. And that can ultimately be a good thing. While it may not necessarily feel good in the moment, once you've undergone that change, you likely feel much better. And that's exactly what this new moon in Aquarius has to offer. So if you want to know more about everything that this new moon has in store for us, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So this video is all about the upcoming new moon in Aquarius happening on Wednesday, January 29th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so there is definitely something about this new moon that's very auspicious. Okay, not only is it happening in the sign of Aquarius, which is very innovative and forward-looking, it's conjunct Pluto, it's happening at the 9th degree, and it coincides with the Chinese New Year or the Lunar New Year, right? There's all of this new energy surrounding this new moon. And like I said in the intro, change is afoot. If there's one thing that I want you to understand about this new moon, it is about change, okay? And I guess in essence, a lot of new moons are about change, right? Because the slate is wiped clean, you can plant new seeds and set new intentions, all the things, right? But because of the particular configuration of this new moon, it's like a necessity for change. Again, it's that energy of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so this new moon is asking of you, so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change this situation? How can you improve this situation, aka Aquarius energy, to completely transform the situation, aka Pluto? So there's a lot of power packed into this new moon. And immediately what I wanted to say was you'd be a fool to not take advantage of it, right? But I don't want to say that because that sounds a little insulting. However, if you are looking to make a change, right? This is the new moon where you really want to do this because things are going to change in a large way. And what I'm being shown right now in my mind's eye is like a ripple effect. So even though transformation has this connotation of grandiosity, right? When you hear transformation, you think of like something that's big, something that's a process, something that may take a long time or a lot of action. But what I'm being shown is that even the littlest action sort of planted or set into motion at this new moon will have like the biggest ripple effect. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing like a tidal wave with this particular new moon. So to say that it's powerful is an understatement. And so to take it even a step further, you know, wherever the new moon is happening in your natal chart is typically where you can plant these new seeds. So for instance, if you've got Aquarius as your 7th house, these are planting seeds of relationships. If it's 10th house, it's career, right? And side note, if you're someone who's not familiar with astrology and you want to know more about your natal chart, then you're definitely going to want to sign up for my free private community called Cosmic Collective. Not only can you commune with other astrology enthusiasts, but you can access my workshop called Your Cosmic Selfie, an Intro to Your Natal Chart, and all of this is free. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below. But yes, I feel like with this new moon, you're not relegated to just wherever Aquarius is in your chart. Like if you're really looking to make a change across the board in any area of your life, any situation, I feel like this is the new moon for you. Okay. And speaking of change, let's talk about Aquarius energy because Aquarius energy is very much concerned with change. So, Aquarius energy is about innovation. It is about improvement. It's very futuristic. It's a futuristic sign. And so when we talk about Aquarius energy, it's about improvement, right? It's also about invention, which, brings to mind that famous phrase, necessity is the mother of invention. And that kind of bodes well with what I was saying in the intro about how if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you feel this overwhelming need to change, that need is what is going to fuel that change, right? Think of it this way. So many of the things that we use, that we enjoy, that we take for granted was literally a thought in someone's mind, and perhaps a crazy thought at that. Someone thought about creating a neon sign and people were probably like, are you on crack? Like, how is that going to work? At some point, someone said airplanes, right? We can fly in the sky. And people were like, yeah, okay, weirdo. And now these are things that are so common, we take them for granted. Those kind of thoughts, those kind of inventions are emblematic of Aquarius energy. So what can you invent in your life right now that can change it? Right? When we think about the airplane, it changed travel completely. We were a species that if we weren't walking, right, we had horses, then we had cars, and now all of a sudden we can fly cross country. We can fly all over the world. It revolutionized our lives. And I use the word revolutionize intentionally because what do you want to revolutionize in your life? This new moon gives you the opportunity. It says, listen, I may put the pressure on you, but this pressure is to get you to change. Change can often be a knee-jerk reaction. And this bodes well with what I was saying before as well, right? You feel like your back is up against the wall. Yeah, it's time to make that change. All right. And speaking of revolutionary, the other facet of Aquarius energy that we will probably see a lot of in the near future is revolution, is rebellion. And perhaps we need a little bit of that now because the way things are going, a rebellion may be literally the only way to change things, right? When I think of rebellion, when I think of sort of revolution, right? I always think of someone like tearing through a wall or breaking through like bars or something like that. It's this energy of sort of getting unstuck in a almost forceful kind of way. That's the connotation that I associate with rebellion, right? There's this underlying anger or frustration. There's also this force and this mobilization that goes into rebellion, right? And perhaps you're experiencing that in one or more areas of your life where it's like, again, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And now you kind of have this push. You kind of have this, momentum to break free and revolutionize your life, improve your life, invent something new in your life that will really change it. Are you understanding how powerful this new moon is? It's crazy, right? But also so divinely orchestrated. And with that being said, let us get into the numerology associated with this new moon in Aquarius. All right, I love examining the numerology because it just gives us so much more information. And the numerology for this particular new moon is unmatched in the sense that we are in a universal year 9. Okay, so 2025 is a year 9. And this new moon in Aquarius is happening at the 9th degree. And so whenever we have repetition like that, right? Whenever we have this, okay, it's a universal 9 year, this is happening at the 9th degree, or something is 9 letters, or whatever it is, I always feel like it's the universe's way of saying, listen, I said what I said. I put a stamp on what I'm saying because it's emphasized. And when we talk about the numerology of the number 9, it is transformation. It also represents wisdom, and when I think of the number 9, now this is just my interpretation, but when I think of the number 9, I think of a snake. Snakes embody wisdom, but snakes also shed their skin. There is a transformative quality to snakes that when they outgrow their skin, they shed it and then they grow anew, right? And it's not lost on me that when it comes to Chinese astrology, we are in the year of the wood snake, which will begin on the same day as this new moon in Aquarius, right? On January 29th. So it's time to shed some skin, okay? That energy of transformation, right, is so heavy right now. Like you cannot escape it. Now, when we talk about the numerology of the number 9, it's about completion, but not finality. Okay. So it's like finishing a chapter in a book, but not the entire book. It's time to move on to the next thing. And the way that I said Aquarius works, right? It's like your back is kind of up against the wall. It's like maybe you need to come to the conclusion that this chapter needs to end, right? Because Aquarius is an air sign, right? And air rules thoughts. It rules communication. There's something about deciding and being definitive about ending a certain chapter and beginning a new one. That's very evident in Aquarius energy. But when you couple Aquarius energy with the numerology of the number 9, that's sort of the connotation that I get. It's like deciding that, okay, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to experience this anymore. And then changing your mindset and attuning to a different frequency to facilitate that change. But I'll get more into that later. All right. So again, when we're talking about the number 9, it's again completion, but not finality. It's having gone through a fair share of hardship and now coming out on the other side wiser, stronger, and more aware. Okay. Inherent in the energy of the number 9 is awakening. And what do you immediately think of when you hear the word awakening? It connotes being asleep and then being awake, right? It's this consciousness, it's this awareness. And this awareness is a result of basically what you've been through, what you've experienced, right? You've been through the school of hard knocks. You've had good days, you've had bad days. Now you're wiser. And so now you have this new level of consciousness. Aquarius is also the sign of consciousness. Okay. And so when, again, you couple that Aquarius energy with the number 9, it's like now you're aware of what the fuck needs to be changed, right? Perhaps, all of us at some point in time have walked through life asleep. You do things on defaults. You have such a routine. You've been conditioned in such a way that that's just your normal way of doing things. And you do it without thinking. Think about something like driving. When you first learn how to drive, clearly you're aware because it's new to you. You have to be aware of how the car functions. You have to be aware of other cars on the road. But eventually it becomes second nature where you don't have to think, okay, I need to put my foot on the accelerator to go forward. I need to press the brake to stop. Like it just becomes automatic. And so you do it kind of in your sleep. But then when something happens, it awakens you, right? It alters your state of consciousness because now it's something that you are aware of. You're no longer sleepwalking through things. And again, this goes back to what I was saying before. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you realize that what you've been doing is not working. You realize that you're frustrated by what has been happening. And so you have this awareness of change. And that's exactly what the number 9 evokes in us. Okay, in terms of the astrology associated with the number 9, it's associated first with Sagittarius because Sagittarius is the 9th sign of the zodiac. And Sagittarius is all about expansion. Sagittarius is like, listen, I want to expand into something else. I want to grow. I want to develop. I mean, if that doesn't speak to change, I don't know what does. Sagittarius is like, I don't want to stay the same. I don't want to stay in my comfort zone. I want to experience different things. And that's inherent in the energy signature of the number 9. And then it is also associated with Aries. Now, this is very important because, like I said, we're in a universal 9 year. 9 is associated with Aries because it's associated with Mars. That is the fighter. That's where we get this rebellious spirit that the number 9 also has. So we've got Aquarius and the number 9, which again equals sick and tired of being sick and tired and willing to fight and rebel for change. This can be volatile energy. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, especially with the way that things are going on right now. This rebellious spirit perhaps will be awakened, right? And I just talked about awakening with the number 9. This rebellious spirit will be awakened in people at a very surprising and perhaps alarming rate at this new moon. So I would not be surprised if something pops off this week. I would not be surprised wouldn't be surprised if there's protest, rebellion, something, because this new moon is calling it in. All right. And then, like I said before, the number 9 has a lot to do with wisdom. And when we talk about wisdom, the number 9 is associated with the Hermit card in the Tarot. And the Hermit card is like, listen, it reflects on things. The hermit will enter the cave sort of in order to receive enlightenment, in order to quiet all the noise, be in solitude, and receive the enlightenment that it needs from the inside. And so that's where the element of wisdom comes forth with this particular new moon. So like I said, the number 9, transformation, awakening, fighting. So get ready, because it's about to be a show this week. All right, so now let's get into the astrology. Okay, so first and foremost, the new moon, if you're not familiar, is when the sun and the moon are conjunct, meaning that they operate the same space in the sky. So the moon is in Aquarius and the sun is in Aquarius. So we've got this double Aquarius energy, which is everything that I mentioned before. So that's the first aspect. The sun is in the sign of Aquarius along with the moon. The second and more important astrological aspect of this new moon is that the new moon is going to be conjunct Mercury and Pluto. This is important because, remember, I talked about 9 being the number of transformation, and this new moon is happening at the 9th degree. Pluto is the planet of transformation. So like I said, if you're looking to innovate, change, completely transform your life, this new moon is serving that energy up to you on a silver platter, okay? But what I love is that not only is Pluto conjunct this new moon, but so is Mercury. With Aquarius being an air sign, and like I said before, air signs have everything to do with thoughts and communication. This allows you to change your mindset. And this has a lot to do with the awakening and a new level of consciousness that I mentioned before. It's like, now that you're aware of something, now you can change how you think about it, what you believe about it. This is what affects real change. Remember, I said necessity is the mother of invention. And so when you feel like your back is up against the wall, that's sort of a way to jailbreak your minds to think of a new solution, to think of a new invention. And this new moon is chock full of that because it is conjunct Mercury and Pluto. So perhaps you've been stuck, you've been stagnant. This new moon in Aquarius may have a sudden shift in your mindset, a sudden shift in your consciousness that elevates that consciousness. Like I said, it's jailbreaking your mind. So what you couldn't even think of before, now you are able to ruminate on. Now you're able to meditate on. Now you're able to think about. This is important because this is how we consciously create. We take the brakes off of our mind and we allow our mind to go into higher dimensions where things already exist, where we can take what is above and bring it down to the so below, right? So much can be affected at this new moon based on the astrology, based on the numerology. Like, again, this could not only transform your ideas, right? This could also transform how you speak, how you express yourself. Because Mercury is not just the planet of ideas, it's the planet of communication, it's the planet of expression. Maybe for some of you, like let's say you're an Aquarius rising, right? And so Aquarius is your first house. With all of this transformative energy, not only in your first house for a while because Pluto will be in your first house for the next 20 years. But this new moon and everything I talked about before, it's like this could be a complete overhaul in your personality, in your identity even. It's like you could have this flash of insight that could really have you expressing yourself completely, like in a completely different way. Transforming how you speak, transforming how you relate to other people, transforming how you think. Right? That's super exciting, at least in my opinion. And the other thing I'll say, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And so this new moon, if anything, it just may give you these flashes of insight, these light bulb moments that, if implemented over the long run, right, could really change how you do something, how you experience something, how you interact with someone or with people, right? Be mindful of what your intuition is telling you around this time. Uranus is very much associated with our intuition. And a lot of times our mind will drown out our intuition, or our mind will doubt our intuition. But the way that this new moon is set up, these flashes of insight, these will be things that you probably cannot ignore. Your intuition will not let you ignore it. All right. So if I had any advice for you at this new moon, I would say listen to your intuition, tap into that rebellious spirit, and be ready, willing, and able to transform, because this is everything that this new moon is serving up for us. All right, so in terms of manifesting and sort of closing this video out, right? We're at the new moon phase. And so again, it's when you plant new seeds and set new intentions. But it's important to understand that to work with this energy, the energy of this new moon in Aquarius, these are mental seeds that we are planting. Okay. And you likely want to plant mental seeds that are much different than what you normally have planted in the past. Because remember, we have all of this transformative energy at our fingertips. So this is the time to think outside the box. This is the time to think in a different way. This is the time to be a little radical in your thinking, a little rebellious in your thinking, because you definitely want to plant seeds of change. So working on your mindset is going to be everything at this new moon. Now, the other thing that I will say, and that I'm sort of being reminded of in this moment, is that yes, the new moon occurs on the 29th, right? We have the energy of the new moon at our fingertips for the first 3 days, or I should say 3 days before the new moon and 3 days after the new moon. However, between the new moon and the full moon is 2 weeks. And during that time, this is the time when you're going to want to strengthen your mental muscles into thinking in a new way, into changing your mindset, right? And again, it's going to require a little bit of rebellion. So what that may look like in reality is sort of contesting or questioning a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the beliefs that you've previously held. Maybe now you're awakening to the fact that this thing that you've been doing over and over again no longer serves you, because it's tied to a belief that's outdated or that's not in alignment with who you are or where you're trying to go. So again, you want to plant mental seeds at this time, okay? The other thing I'll say about the manifestation process as it relates to this new moon in particular, Aquarius is the sign of the collective. And so you may find that a lot of these mental seeds that you're planting come from other people, come from like-minded people. This may be the new moon where you're intentional about finding and communing with like-minded people. Perhaps this is where these new mental seeds may come from. It's kind of, I don't want to say a daunting task, but to sit and sort of create change within yourself as like a solo mission, although it's not impossible, sometimes that's just not how it happens. Sometimes we are sparked and we're inspired from the advice of others, the ideas or the opinion of others. And the fact that Aquarius is the sign of the collective points to the fact that maybe these seeds will be planted by others who share our same views or who share the same intentions for change, transformation, and rebellion. So this may be the new moon that you commune with other people, you talk to other people. One of the things that I've really gotten into over the last couple of weeks has been threads on Instagram. And I love it because it so reminds me of Twitter back in the day, right? And people are literally on threads talking about, hey, who's interested in this? Drop a comment below. Or, hey, algorithm, I'm looking for all the astrology girlies. Where are my girls at, right? People are literally looking for a community with like-minded people. So this may be the time to get on the internet. Of course, Aquarius also rules the internet. So finding your group, finding your tribe even, will likely be something that you're doing electronically or digitally right now. But again, this is going to foster those mental seeds that we are trying to plant at this time. So again, if I have any advice for you for this new moon, be willing to change your mindset. Commune with like-minded people who can help you plant these new mental seeds. Be a little rebellious, okay? And be ready for change in your life. Now, this may happen suddenly, or it may be a knee-jerk reaction, but either way, change is coming and you definitely want to be prepared. And this new moon in Aquarius is, again, serving that up to you on a silver platter. All right, my loves, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Again, if you want to sign up for my free private community, Cosmic Collective, that link will be in the description box below. I wish you nothing but the absolute best for this new moon in Aquarius and beyond, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.